In software engineering, the composite pattern is a partitioning design pattern. The composite pattern describes that a group of objects is to be treated in the same way as a single instance of an object. The intent of a composite is to compose objects into tree structures to represent part-whole hierarchies. Implementing the composite pattern lets clients treat individual objects and compositions uniformly. Motivation: when dealing with tree-structured data, programmers often have to discriminate between a leaf node and a branch. This makes code more complex, and therefore, error-prone. The solution is an interface that allows treating complex and primitive objects uniformly. In object-oriented programming, a composite is an object designed as a composition of one or more similar objects, all exhibiting similar functionality. This is known as a relationship between objects. The key concept is that you can manipulate a single instance of the object just as you would manipulate a group of them. The operations you can perform on all the composite objects often have a least common denominator relationship. For example, if defining a system to portray grouped shapes on a screen, it would be useful to define resizing a group of shapes to have the same effect as resizing a single shape. When to use: composite should be used when clients ignore the difference between compositions of objects and individual objects. If programmers find that they are using multiple objects in the same way, and often have nearly identical code to handle each of them, then composite is a good choice. It is less complex in this situation to treat primitives and composites as homogeneous. Structure. Component is the abstraction for all components, including composite ones, declares the interface for objects in the composition. Optional defines an interface for accessing a component's parent in the recursive structure, and implements it if that's appropriate. Leaf represents leaf objects in the composition, implements all component methods. Composite represents a composite component, implements methods to manipulate children, implements all component methods, generally by delegating them to its children. Variation. As it is described in design patterns, the pattern also involves including the child manipulation methods in the main component interface, not just the composite subclass. More recent descriptions sometimes omit these methods. Example: the following example, written in Java, implements a graphic class, which can be either an ellipse or a composition of several graphics. Every graphic can be printed in Bacchus-Naur form. Graphic equals ellipse graphic list equals empty graphic list. It could be extended to implement several other shapes and methods. Java. C. The following example, written in C. Simple example. See also, Perl Design Patterns Book, Mixin, Law of Demeter, external links, composite pattern description from the Portland Pattern Repository, composite pattern in UML and in LaPus 3, a formal modeling language, class delegation on CPAN, the end of inheritance, automatic runtime interface building for aggregated objects by Paul Baranowski. Perfect Pattern open source project, provides componentized implementation of the composite pattern in Java. 1. A persistent Java-based implementation, composite design pattern, references.